Hi folks, this is Dr. Kat Schreier with Water Show, and I'm here with Miki Schmidt from NOAA, and we're just doing a quickie little tour on some of the really cool things. And I don't know if you can still see, we're at the reception.
Closing down the reception.
We are closing down the party. Is the keg kicked? I don't know. Yes, if the keg's not kicked, we haven't closed the party yet. But yes, so we're closing down the party here, and we were just going to do a quick tour of one of the tools that has been talked about quite a bit over the course of the day, is this digital coast. So why don't you just kind of explain to us first what the dude, and you can talk to the camera there.
Oh, okay.
What the digital coast is, and we'll scan your computer also when you get to that.
Okay, well, thank you. Digital Coast is designed to be an enabling platform that enables coastal communities to integrate data and tools into addressing their coastal issues. So, for example, we focus a lot on providing information that helps communities better plan, prepare for coastal inundation, coastal flooding, coastal storms, and helping with their risk and resiliency.
Now, so let's take a look at what you got down here. So you're going to drive. So let's see. Try to look at my camera all at the same time. There we go.
Okay, yeah, so those of you looking at the screen right now, you can see sort of our tagline for Digital Coast. There's more than just data.
Yes.
There are many, many data sources available, as everyone probably knows, if you're searching or trying to conduct a project in the coastal zone. And what we found with working with our constituent base was the need for the next step beyond just getting the data. Very interested in integrating those data into visualization tools, or providing training that teach the user not only about the data, but how to integrate it and create those tools, and then apply it to address their coastal issues around the country. So that's what it was designed around. Was data are critical. There's no doubt about that. It's the foundation to every tool that we have and develop. But it's taking that next step so the user community that's not focused on the science of the data, but they want to apply those data to address their coastal issues. So that's formed the basis of why we developed the Digital Coast. And so it provides data, tools, training, and case studies from around the country to, again, enable the community to hopefully make more informed decisions.
So we will try to schedule a time when we can do a little tour and everything. And I guess actually, you know what, this might be a little easier. So you'll drive, and I can center that really easily. So go ahead and show us what you were going to show us.
If you look across the top here, the best place to start actually is on the About page for Digital Coast. It gives a quick example, but then there's so much information here. We've provided this section here at the bottom left for tips for first-time users. So whether we have information arranged by topics, we have a whole list of stories from across the country of how folks are applying these resources to address their issues. We have Digital Coast in your state, which are state summaries of how the resources have been used. And then we list some of the top products that folks are downloading and visualizing through this platform. So we encourage users to try this first step here of important topics. And these are topics that our constituent base have prioritized for us to focus our resources on.
So read those off for us.
So those are climate adaptation, the coastal and ocean economy, information on land cover and land use, a suite of information products on coastal storms, green infrastructure or nature-based infrastructure, and ocean and marine planning. These are, and the last one, water quality. So we have organized information along these topical areas. So for example, if a community is interested in climate adaptation, instead of going through the whole website to figure out all the tools and resources that apply to climate adaptation, we've organized these by topics. So these specific topic pages break out what tools, for example, are available, what training is available, and then all the data that are available. So one very popular product is our Sea Level Rise Viewer, which enables communities to visualize, potential impacts from sea level rise, learn about the data and methods through documentation, share maps, and download the data.
So people can find out when the ocean is going to come flood them out. Just when you
Basically-
thought it was safe to live by the water.
Basically, that's what this tool does. It takes the
Oh my God.
projections around the country. So,
Oh, look how skinny Florida is.
so if you want to zoom in to a particular geography,
Okay.
you just use the map interface.
So Jacksonville is gone. Savannah, see ya.
Well,
Charleston.
Yeah, look at Charleston. That's where I live.
Okay.
And what we can do is even zoom in further. You can select by state, territory, and zoom in. But what this tool allows you to do is, for example, in the upper left-hand corner, is to visualize the impacts of sea level rise. So the map changes as you go up with showing coastal inundation.
Oh, wait, do that again.
Yeah, so this slider bar here,
Yeah.
that's it. Let me put it back to 0.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where it is right now, the level of the sea. If you click the slider bar and go to 1 feet, you see how the map changed in the light blue. Those areas now would be inundated by sea level. All the way up to 3 feet and 6 feet, you can see the amount of land that potentially will be impacted by sea level rise at that magnitude.
Wow.
So these tools have been developed to allow communities to better prepare for such coastal inundation in the future. And
So that's not necessarily talking about hypothetical climate change. I mean that's storm. I mean when would we see these kinds of rises actually happen?
This is from the climate change projection.
Okay.
The International Climate Consortium developing those projections of what it could be. We're not projecting when this would occur.
Right.
What we're doing is visualizing if it were to occur,
Okay.
say by the year 2100, this is what would happen to that geography.
So it's giving people a context. So like right now, people are like, oh my God, there's like a 2-inch sea level rise. Well, that's a big deal, or that's not a big deal.
In some areas, 2 inches is a big deal.
Right.
2 feet is a much bigger deal in many more places. Right. So what we've also been able to do is incorporate various other data sets. So for example, a lot of these are community potentially is not familiar with maps. Okay? But what they are familiar with, and we have these local visualizations that we've done of local landmarks. So for example, in downtown Charleston, South Carolina, this is a picture of the U.S. Customs House.
Right.
So locals may not be familiar that much with the map, but they know where the custom house is. So when you use that same slider bar I showed earlier and show the map, and you can see the areas turning blue, what they're also able to do is look at our local landmark and see
Oh
what
my
it means
God!
if
It's
water
back
were
to the bottom
rise.
step. Can we go higher?
And that's it. So
Oh,
this
wow.
then enables the community, you can look at both the map as well as local landmarks to, again, help communities understand their potential risks if this were to occur.
Right. That's very cool.
So that's just one of the tools.
You could have a lot of fun, but play with this all day.
Yeah, and this is developed for the entire continent, coastal U.S. and territories except for Alaska. The data aren't available for the state of Alaska to develop this tool. But we have it for the Caribbean islands, the Pacific islands, and U.S. territories, as well as every coastal state. And the Great Lakes is not subject to sea level rise, as I think most folks know. So we developed a separate viewer for the Great Lakes. It's called the Lake Level Viewer, which visualizes lake levels rising and falling.
Got
And
it.
so the same thing. And not the same mapping interface, but very similar. This is just this is one of the more popular tools. There are over 60 tools available on the Digital Coast. There are thousands of data sets. There are hundreds of stories of how communities around the country are applying these resources to make local and hopefully more informed decisions.
Right. Well, okay. So, are there some of the conversations during the breakout sessions are talking about how would people use it, and talking about entrepreneurs, and often there are challenges or what do they call it? The hackathon.
Oh yeah,
Right.
hackathons. Yeah.
So to do a hackathon of what would you do with this? I mean, are there places that they're doing a hackathon or they're doing entrepreneurial challenges of can you come up with businesses that would use this?
Businesses already are using it. We have documented the number one data download community are .coms that download the data that feed into this viewer.
But
So
I mean, as an entrepreneurial challenge for new startups.
We have actually explored that, doing hackathons at our annual, we host a conference every 2 years called Coastal Geotools down in Charleston. And back in the sequestration days, we had planned a hackathon, but we didn't go through with it at that time. That's when
Maybe we should do that with Water Citizen Media Foundation.
Maybe.
All right. That sounds like a challenge to me. Now all we need to do is find funding, and we can do a coastal hackathon in Charleston. I love Charleston. We used to do a project down in Charleston. We did quarterly monitoring of jet fuel contamination at Charleston Air Force Base.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. I had to go down there. We had to take water samples, and we'd have to have dinner in downtown Charleston.
Yeah, that stinks. That's terrible.
Terrible place to eat. Anyway, so we'll have to look into that, and really appreciate your taking the time to show Water Citizens all this cool stuff that you guys are doing here at NOAA with Coastal Desert. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Water Citizens. And if you're watching this anywhere else other than thewatershow.org, go on over to thewatershow.org and check out all the videos we have all this week on it's a long name, on the National Conversation on Integrated Water Information for the 21st Century. And I think I just ran out of memory on my camera saying that. All right, folks. Thanks so much.